What's cracking, yo? Welcome back to Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. Prisoners of the moment, over exaggerators, stretchers, all that stuff, reachers. How you feeling now? I was waiting for this. I knew it was going to happen. I recently put out a post about the ridiculous Kobe Bryant, Devin Booker comparisons and the Devin Booker and Kevin Durant comparisons to Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. Way out of line in my opinion. And then fast forward or rewind a week earlier to that, after Steph Curry dropped that 50-point Game 7 performance, I was on vacation. I couldn't do a video on it. But I put out a post, and I'll read part of the post. I said this. With regard to Steph Curry's 50-point Game 7 performance, I think so many people are prisoners of the moment, especially these folks on TV. I find it hilarious how one 50-point game in a Game 7 in the first round now catapults Steph Curry into being greater than Magic Johnson for some people. You telling me, if I ask somebody before that Game 7, what will it take for Steph Curry to be greater than Magic? And then they would say to me, well, at this point, he just got to give me 50 in a Game 7 of the first round. Come on, folks. What are we talking about here? I cannot believe the topic of conversations was, does this Game 7 performance make Steph Curry the greatest point guard of all time? I think it's very premature. I find it hard to believe people's reasoning was teetering on a single offensive explosion on a series clincher in the first round. That is what I put out. And I waited because I say, let's see how all this is going to end up. You know, if he ends up moving on to get his 5th championship after the dust settles, I say I would definitely consider moving him into my top 10. He's not in my top 10 now, but I would consider moving him into my top 10. But for me, that's still not enough to put him ahead of Magic Johnson. Not quite yet. I understand. I like Steph. I'm not a Steph hater. I love watching Steph Curry play. Greatest shooter of all time. Man, great, phenomenal player, man. Nothing against Steph. It's against what other people are more or less saying or how quick they are to pull out the pistol and shoot it off with all their whatever. Anyway, the Golden State Warriors are getting their ass beat, getting mollywopped by the Los Angeles Lakers right here in Game 6, about to lose, and the Lakers are about to advance to the Western Conference Finals to play the Denver Nuggets. Yep, there's still about 8 minutes left, something like that. They're down by roughly 20 last time I checked, but this game's over. There's Steph Curry isn't doing nothing to pull a rabbit out of his hat. Neither is anybody else on the Golden State Warriors. This is over. How quickly opinions on one game in the first round have dissolved. Now I'm hearing a bunch of crickets. All that Steph Curry is better than Magic Johnson talk. I don't hear none of it right now. I don't hear none of it. Getting mollywopped by the Lakers 4-2. Come on, man. What are we talking about here? This is the stuff I'm talking about, folks. Prisoners of the moment. And in the video I put out, after the Warriors Game 5 victory, I put out a video saying that it ain't over yet. Which it wasn't over yet, but now it is. But I put out a video saying that LeBron James, if not in Game 6, and if it goes to Game 7, he'll definitely do it in Game 7. But I predicted that LeBron James would probably, in Game 6, come off his less aggressive stance offensively that he's had as far as scoring the ball. He hasn't been as ball dominant, hasn't been as aggressive, has come off the ball a lot more. I said he is going to turn it up another notch to ensure that they put this game away. He is going to go to the basket. He is going to bully, and if his three-point shot is falling, like I said, he'll shoot first couple. If it's falling, good night, good luck. You ain't stopping LeBron James because he already gonna get what he want to get in the paint, especially against this Warriors team. As long as he's determined to do so, in which he was. I saw it in the beginning of the game. I said, I knew he was going to do this. I knew LeBron was going to do this. Went straight to the post, went straight to the paint. I think he fired off, got like a quick, easy 6 points in the beginning of the game. And then his first couple of three-pointers he was putting out, he was cashing on them. I said, LeBron is going to turn it up. He's going to come off that stance and put the kids to bed nighty-night. And he did. He did. It wasn't a 40, 50-point game. I mean, the game's still going on. I don't know what he's going to end up at. I think he was getting close to like 38-8 or 38-7, something like that. But it was a sound, solid, more aggressive, impactful game than what we have been used to seeing LeBron perform so far in these playoffs. I knew he was going to do this. I called it. Hey, man, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I've been wrong a lot this season, so I'm taking this one to the bank. But, hey, man, I knew Bron was going to be more assertive, and he was. And he was. Prisoners of the moment. Calm down on that Steph Curry better than Magic Johnson talk. Now, listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everything's subjective. I understand that. But for me, no. No. And then for a lot of people that was saying this, they did not have Magic. They did not have Steph Curry ahead of Magic. Until he had that game, then people were being like, he's the greatest point guard of all time. 50 points in the Game 7, first round. Greatest of all time. Now that makes... People were saying that, so that tells me that they had Magic ahead of him. And this, they just been waiting for this 150-point game. They said, I saw Steph Curry needed 150-point game. First round of the playoffs, Game 7. That'll put him above Magic. Flamed out in the second round against the Lakers. What are we talking about? Now, I know it's not all Steph Curry's fault, but if we're going to call it what it is, he hasn't played up to expectations every game in that series. He's missed a lot of 3-point. He's a 3-point specialist, the greatest shooter of all time. But there was a handful of those games where he was clanking. It's not all his fault. Klay Thompson has largely been abysmal this entire series, as well as Poole. I would like to share a comment that Crayontis, one of our... I hope I'm not pronouncing her name wrong. Crayontis, comment he put out with regard to the video I had put out about the comparisons of Kobe and Booker and Kobe Shaq. Booker, Kevin Durant. And Crayontis said this: I think it's all the media's fault for trying to blow everything out of proportions to sell and create buzz, and the younger and or impressionable people buying into that and perpetuating it. Like every good performance must be elevated to the best ever or similar to some legend of the past and made to look even better, etc. Why can't we appreciate the good players and plays we have now instead of trying to make everything like now is the best time ever, even better than your old ass legends? Elevate your present players on their own merits. Don't spit on the past. Very, 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 very nicely said. Couldn't have said that better myself, my friend. Couldn't have said that 100% spot on. I do agree with that notion. I do agree. Look, I've even been on the record. Hey, this player reminds me of this player. This player reminds me. I see some similarities, some influence. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Some influence, but by no means am I propping these players up to the level of a basketball player. Some of these legends, when they don't have the track record. They don't have the track record. They haven't put in the work or any of that stuff. I'm not saying Steph Curry has a great track record, and Steph Curry has definitely put in work, but for me, he still has more work to do. For me to mention him with Magic Johnson, he ain't there yet for me. I'm sorry. For me, Magic is undisputed best point guard of all time, and that could change for me. That could change in a couple years depending on what Steph Curry does. But time will tell. But hardly will a 50-point game in the first round in Game 7 going to sway my decision to prop Steph Curry up on Mount Rushmore. That ain't happening, buddy. That ain't happening. No way. Anyway, let me know what you think about it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. I swear to God, if I get off this and somehow the Warriors are up by 1 with 20 seconds left, I'm still going to post this video. I have no shame. I will stand on what I do. Right or wrong, I will stand on it and live up to it. I will stand on it. What Skip Bayless say? Courage of your conviction. I will stand on it. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one. We out, baby.